You've probably heard or read about the resurgence of Detroit's downtown, but there are smaller business districts all over the city, and some of them are just barely hanging on. The economy's improved, it's just not as evident in these smaller business districts. We're in MorningSide neighborhood on Detroit's east side. Warren Avenue splits the community in two, and that's where the business district lies. George Corsetti is a longtime resident. Earlier this year, he drove me down East Warren, and he says years ago, this was a thriving business area.
Well, it was very busy. I mean, you had people walking around in the streets, and all the shops were open, and all these places had businesses in them. And now they're about 10%, 20% that have operating businesses.
One of the business owners also made that point.
The business district, when I first moved to this area, East Warren used to be a major shopping spot.
Bill Kamen has operated the Hammer Time True Value hardware store for many years. He says many of the people who live here now don't have the money to support the businesses in the neighborhood.
They're spending 60-70% of their money on rent, and they don't have the extra money to be working on houses and putting into stuff.
Shortly after I talked to Bill Kamen, he went out of business. It's not all bad news. At the corner of East Warren and Outer Drive, the Alger Theater is offering new promise. The Alger opened in 1935, and with no TV, no internet, the movie theater was a major source of entertainment. Plus, it had air conditioning. After several decades, it fell on hard times, but a nonprofit group, Friends of the Alger, bought the theater in the mid-1980s. They've been slowly renovating the theater since. One of the big developments is renovating a couple of retail storefronts that once operated from the theater building. Christopher Riley owns Riley Craft Creamery, and he wants to open a retail location in the Alger building. It's part business and part strategy to lure people to Morningside and the neighboring East English Village neighborhood.
I really kind of see like the seeds of a real turnaround and renaissance. But no one's going to move over here unless there's some cool services.
Another business, a coffee shop, plans to occupy the Alger's other storefront. That will mean Alger Theater will have tenants and a regular source of income to supplement the nonprofit's fundraising efforts. Parts of the Morningside neighborhood seem untouched by the changes. But because of mortgage foreclosures due to predatory subprime loans, houses were lost. More houses have been lost in recent years because of tax foreclosures. Often speculators buy those houses at auction and then leave them empty. They quickly become targets for scrappers, people who break in, strip the houses of anything of value. Once that happens, the entire block is hurt. Neighborhood block clubs are fighting back. Lenora McElrath lives on a block of nice brick Tudors and bungalows, and she says she and her neighbors watch constantly to make sure scrappers don't break into empty houses.
Because we question them. Can I help you? If you know no one lives there, you ask questions. Can I help you? When dealing with these situations, I don't necessarily like to be confrontational because, I'm up in age. But when you come into my neighborhood and you think you're going to get away with doing something, that's not happening.
The neighbors do everything they can to make the vacant houses look as though someone's living there. They mow the lawns because the absent owners often don't. They put curtains in the windows. They shovel snow off the sidewalk. Along some streets, blighted properties have been torn down. And through Habitat for Humanity and You Snap Back, these houses have been built to replace them. But blight remains a problem in other parts of the neighborhood. The police try to stay on top of it, but it's difficult. Neighborhood police officer DeAndre Gaines drove me around the neighborhood to show me where problems were and where they'd taken enforcement actions.
If a window is broke, then someone would think no one cares about that property, and they'll start dumping on that property, or squatting in that property, or maybe trying to do other illegal activities in that property.
He tickets property owners who don't properly board up vacant houses, if they can find the owner. The other major problem in Morningside, like many other Detroit neighborhoods, is illegal dumping. One street is a favorite of midnight dumpers, Barham. The City of Detroit Public Works periodically comes through and cleans up tons of dumped items along the street, but major construction debris on vacant lots has piled up. The Kresge Foundation has granted neighborhood organizers money to turn Barham Street into a greenway and farmway. Linda Smith with USNAP Back says people need a place to walk dogs, a place for kids to ride their bicycles, and urban farmers will lease land along Barham.
They want to be able to just grow their crop like anyone else, but they don't want to deal with the land bank. They don't want to deal with the city. They want to be able to lease land that's already been prepped to do what they want to do. So that's what's exciting.
Morningside residents remain hopeful. People are slowly moving in, they're buying houses. Some businesses have opened in recent years. They also hope the city will invest in their East Warren Avenue business district. Mayor Mike Duggan has promised there will be money coming to neighborhood business areas. And Duggan knows Morningside. His grandparents lived here. As a boy, he would stay with them during the summer. He remembers what Morningside once was, and Morningside residents hope he'll do something to improve things now.